Hey guys, Sophia here with Turquoise Toffee, and I'm back with another video. Today we're talking about the 2024 IFBB Pro League Houston Tournament of Champions Pro Wellness results. And these women were phenomenal. I can't wait for you to see the pictures. The legs on these ladies, insane. So, of course, in terms of Olympia, last year's wellness top 3 are automatically qualified, and then every winner of each open contest in the qualification period is also qualified to go. So, it is such an honor and a privilege to win one of these shows because the winner of this gets to go to Olympia 2024. So looking at the scorecard, here's our top 5. First place was Jennifer, second Nicole, third Alicia, fourth Julianne, and fifth Cassandra. And if you take a closer look at the scores, it was super close. So 1 point difference between first and second. Also 1 point difference between third and fourth. So it could have gone a lot of different ways, but definitely an amazing top 5. Okay, so here's Cassandra in 5th, and I think she looks beautiful. I love the color of her suit. I think her skin is just buttery and smooth and absolutely gorgeous. I love her tan. I love just her colors, everything, top to bottom. She looks so good. I also find that she's got such a gorgeous bubbliness, so much curve. The roundness in her legs is really beautiful. The quad sweep, that hamstring, nice shape to the glute, nice just overall silhouette, her calf, the hammy, the glute, just really stunning. Nice curves in her arms. That's what I see when I look at Cassandra's, just curves and roundness. I like her conditioning in the sense that we've got this beautiful line here in her hip. You've got some nice detail by her kneecap. Her obliques are super visible. I think she's got some good detail in her arms. But I do think compared to the top girls in this lineup, she could have had a little bit more detail coming through in her legs. I think this back leg could have had a few more lines, a little bit more outlining of the quad, just a tiny bit more detail coming through in the front pose. Her back pose, I think, was stunning and perfect, but just a little bit more of the conditioning in the front. But overall, I think she looks really beautiful, great size, great shape. However, here we go again. I do think she could have a little bit more size in the quads themselves. Like I said, I love the roundness, but I think she could have more, just a bit more mass. And I even think she could have a little bit more height to the glute right in here. But I do think she has a really great overall shape and she looks beautiful. Okay, next in 4th place was Julianne. Love the pink suit and the matching pink lipstick. It is vibrant, beautiful, lively, stunning. She's got an amazing shape to her glute. I love how the curve begins right at her suit. Perfectly round, great transition into her hamstring. Really, really stunningly beautiful. I think her conditioning could also be a little bit more in the front. You do see a nice groove here in her hip. You've got some oblique, but I think we could get a little bit more detail coming through in the quads. You know, that teardrop shape down by the kneecap would be nice. A little bit more lines and just outlining in the legs in general, I think would look good. And I also still think she could have more of that curvy roundness in the quad sweep. Just a little bit more height and roundness overall. One last thing, I'm not crazy about the way she's posing her upper body. I think there's a little too much of a lean towards the side here. I think she could use a bit more of a twist to her torso to try to get the shoulders a little bit further forward, and then the arm could fall more flat, and it would just be a bit more natural looking, less leaning, a little bit more upright, and I think she'd get that nice triangular shape a bit better if she wasn't as much of a slant. But overall, I think she looks really beautiful. Again, I love the colors, and that glute, incredible. Okay, next and third is Alicia. Beautiful posing. I love this. You're seeing both of her shoulders. You've got that nice lat open here, that beautiful width to her upper body coming down into a tiny little waist, but all the focus is on the legs. So it's not about balance, but there's still some really beautiful proportions in the upper body that are looking great with her lower body. I think she looks stunning. I also really like her conditioning. So a lot more detail coming through in her legs than our last two competitors. We've got lines in the quads. We've got a line coming down the side of her leg. A lot of outlining. The glute is got this beautiful line here. Just overall, I think she looks really good. It's that nice, hard, athletic look, but the posing with that S curve in her back, lots of curves. She looks beautiful. Love the color of her suit. I think her hair and her makeup is gorgeous as well. I would certainly put the hair behind her shoulder just so we can see a little bit more of that beautiful upper body muscle, but I think she looks amazing. Great size, great conditioning, beautiful posing. Her back pose is stunning, but again, in this side pose here, I still think she could have more mass in the quad. I think she could have more roundness on the top of both of these legs and even a bit more size. If the hamstring could come even bigger, I would love it. It's wellness after all, and it's all about that exaggerated, super heavy shape on the bottom. So I think she can have more size, but I love her posing. I love her styling. I think she looks stunning. All right, next in second place is Nicole. Okay. This is what I'm talking about. Check out the amount of muscle in her legs. Her hamstrings are huge. So much mass. The curve is unreal. She's got a lot of height in the quad sweep. Both of her legs just have so much size, and her glute is crazy big as well. And then you've got nice conditioning too. So you've got lines coming all the way from her suit to her knee. You've got beautiful lines coming into the hamstring, the groove of her glute, the sweep of her back leg, down by the kneecap, like just lines everywhere. Tight obliques, really nice flat stomach. She's stunning. I think her tan could have been darker, particularly in the lineup. When you see her next to the other girls, she's got a bit more of that yellowy tone. I think she could have had more of a brown, just a deeper, richer color. And in terms of her posing, okay, I feel like her feet are a little close together and it is hiding her back leg. I'd like to see a little bit more space so that we get to see more of the hamstring, more height onto the quad, and just widen the base of her whole stature. I think she's narrowing herself in the way that she's standing. So not only is she narrowing her lower body by having her feet close together, she's really not twisting open her upper body. So we're not really getting that exaggerated triangle shape into, from the lats and the shoulders down into the waist. To me, she's just looking very straight up and down. So I want a wider base on the bottom to really make the lower body look huge, which clearly she has a huge lower body, and just a little bit more twist in the upper body to make a bit more of that exaggerated shape and let your eye see the S curve a bit more. But otherwise, I think her conditioning is beautiful and the suit looks lovely. I like her makeup. She's amazing. All right, and now in first place is Jennifer, and she nailed everything right on the head. She's got crazy good size, beautiful hamstrings, nice curve to the glute, an amazing amount of sweep to the quad and the back leg, good curves in the front leg. So she's got all the size of the lower body. She's posing really well so that you see a good amount of that back leg. You've got hamstring. She's delicately on her toe here. I think it does a nice shape to her quad. You see the curve in the glute and the hamstring, but when your eye travels up, you also go all the way to her delt, and it's just this really nice shape. Smooth, flat stomach with overall just a really nice presentation. I wouldn't mind seeing this hand up a little bit higher just so that it might let us see the delt a little more of the back arm. But I think she looks bright, the colors of her suit, the color of her hair, her lipstick, her makeup. She's very eye-catching and very natural. She's not leaning. She's not contorted. She just looks like this is very easy. I think she did a really good job in the posing in particular to show off the shape of her glute and the beautiful curves in her legs. And the conditioning is spot on. You've got lines, you've got detail, but she's not overly hard or overly covered in crazy lines. So she looks feminine, she looks beautiful, she looks unreal. Okay, in the front, I think Jennifer had this absolutely. She has a beautiful tan. See what I mean? That Nicole could have been a little bit darker. I think her lines look really great. Here you can see Cassandra and Julianne could have had a little bit more of the conditioning just to show off some of that detail like we're seeing in our top three. You can see what I mean about her feet being really well placed so you get a good view of her back leg. I think Nicole is just a little too hidden. And also I think she's doing a really good job with her upper body to create that triangular shape. Alicia's doing it as well. So there's not too much lean. They're standing nice and tall. The chest is up. The shoulders are back. Like I said, I still believe that Nicole is just a little too narrow in her posing and she could be wider. A little more conditioning from fourth and fifth, but beautiful round shapes. Nice small waists on everybody. Great size on Nicole. I can absolutely see why it was close between her and Jennifer. Her hamstrings stand out so much. She has so much size in her legs and an incredible amount of size in her glutes. I think Alicia also has some crazy big glutes, but her legs are not as large as Nicole's. So to me, I think in this front pose, Jennifer nails it. She's got the win, clear as day. Now, the back pose, oh my gosh. So just note here in this photo, Jennifer and Nicole have switched places. This is crazy. Everybody looks amazing. And arguably, Jennifer's glutes are not even the biggest of this stage, right? I think Nicole takes that one. She's got so much size, really great shape. Her glutes come down really low, but I think where Nicole might have gone just a tad bit too far, and I think what put her into second place was potentially two things. Number one, I think her hamstrings are quite wide, and it could just be the posing. She's very turned out in her toes, but we're not really even seeing that inside edge of the hamstring. Whereas Jennifer, beside her, you see this nice detail, you see the whole definition, same with Alicia, right? It's just, I feel like Nicole's hamstrings are really taking over the show in the back here. The other thing I think Jennifer got right was that amount of detail coming through in the tie-ins. I think Nicole and maybe even Alicia might have had just a tiny bit too much where the lines are so sharp, you're almost getting an outline of the entire glute and it's coming into the hamstring. Whereas Jennifer has just that little bit of a space here where there's a tiny bit more softness. Alicia, you can see what I mean here. The line is just a bit sharper and connects to the hamstring. So I think conditioning is so crazy. You want to have lines, you want to have definition, you want to have detail, but from the back, it's still important to have a tiny bit of that softness to be able to just highlight the glute shape and the roundness without having a full outline. So that's why I think Jennifer managed to snag that first place, even though she didn't have the largest glutes or the biggest legs. She didn't have the craziest sweep. I think Cassandra has amazing quad sweep in the back here. She looks unreal. Julianne, I thought her glutes looked amazing, but I feel like she could have a bit more curve here to the top part of her quad sweep. It's a bit more of a straightness in the way that I'm seeing it. And that could be a posing thing, even with a slight more bend to the knee. I don't know if she could just get a little bit more roundness, but like everybody looked amazing. 1 point difference between a few of these girls, but I think it came down to just its conditioning and potentially a little bit of the size. But wow, amazing. Okay, so in terms of Olympia, there she is. Jennifer is qualified. And there are a ton more shows coming up this weekend. And there were a few other shows last weekend that I have recaps still to come. So make sure you subscribe, give me a like if you like this video, comment your thoughts below, and of course, come find me. I'm on Instagram at turquoise toffee.